I think you really covered the attitude of atheists. They don't want to be told how to behave. That's fair enough, that's their privilege. But I think you've really, as we say, hit the nail on the head.
So you think God does tell us how to behave?
Yes, in the Ten Commandments.
But why doesn't he tell everybody to behave in the same way? Why does he tell some people to fly airplanes into buildings? Why does he tell other people to do other things?
About God telling people how to behave.
Right.
If people followed the Ten Commandments, we would not have the societies where on Saturday afternoon in Winthrop Street, Cork, my wife and daughter came upon an elderly man stretched out on the ground, blood pouring from his head. A young thug had attacked and kicked him, and came back and kicked him again. Elderly women were crying. The street was in turmoil. If people followed the Ten Commandments, Michael, that would never have happened. In fact, 20 years ago, or even less in Ireland, that would never have happened. But there has been such a deterioration in the moral conduct of people today in society that is now par for the course, like the young boy being attacked in Dublin on St. Patrick's Day, featured in all the newspapers.
Okay, so you're saying we need the Ten Commandments?
We need the Ten Commandments.
We have a murder nearly every
time.
Can you just again try and be brief as possible to the point?
Okay.
The Ten
Okay. The point of the Ten.
And also, I'm just going to finish up. I won't speak again.
I know, do.
Michael thinks I'm deluded.
No, on that particular issue, I'm sure not on
the sun dancing
Yep.
and all that. I'm deluded. Well, I'll go and see my psychiatrist.
Well, presumably you think that I'm deluded for thinking that it doesn't.
No.
Well, then
You're a sincere man, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not for a moment doubting your sincerity. But okay, I'll address the Ten Commandments. Ten Commandments are not a code for ethical conduct. The Ten Commandments are a code for one particular tribe at one particular time in history.
I agree.
And essentially, the gist of the Ten Commandments story is that this God tells one tribe out of all of the people on earth that if you obey my commandments, I'll help you kill those people over there and take their land. That's the gist of the Old Testament story. It's in itself an immoral story. It's not even just.
It's a history.
Well, it's not even a history because it didn't happen. The Exodus didn't happen. But it's. But now let's just very briefly take what those commandments are. Is the first few of them are about obeying the God and the God being a jealous God and seems unnecessarily preoccupied with what. This species on one planet out of 300 billion galaxies, each of which is 100 billion stars like our sun, thinks about it.
Which
the rest of them are based on upholding the power structure within the tribe, whereby in those times the adult males of the tribe ruled the tribe, and the females and younger people were kept in line by commandments like this, and they were kept in line under fear of being stoned to death. The punishment in the Ten Commandments for breaking most of them is that you're stoned to death. God also says that if you disobey the Ten Commandments, that he will make you eat your own children, and he'll bring down ridiculous multiples of punishment on you for things that you do. The commandment, for example, against adultery, for which the punishment is being stoned to death for the woman, is because the woman is the property of the man. If you commit adultery according to the Ten Commandments, if you read the context around it in the Bible, the reason that adultery is wrong is not that it's a crime against the woman, it's that it's a crime against the man who owns that woman. You're defiling the property of that man. If you look at the final commandments, which Catholics conveniently divide into two, covet thy neighbour's wife and covet thy neighbour's goods, in the actual Bible, the wife appears within the list of goods. It's one commandment, and the wife is one of the goods that the man owns. Yes, if you look at the thou shalt not kill, that is put in place by God, who enforces it through killing. You're stoned to death if you disobey it, and is put in place by a man, Moses, who even in the own story started his career by killing somebody, and then hiding that murder and then fleeing from where it took place.
Sorry,
so there's so much.
You've made your point though, in terms of the Ten Commandments being immoral in your context. I think we
of course, but that was the society of the time, Michael. Now we have a society today where it's commonplace for millions of unborn babies to be killed throughout the world. That is the society we live in today. And it's accepted as a natural thing.
So are you saying that the Ten Commandments are not for today then? They were just for that society?
Oh no, they are for today as well.
So we should stone people to death now today?
No, you know well that's not the reason.
No, well then which bits of it? No, this is significant.
Yes.
This is significant. But what you're saying, the bits that suit you are for today, but the bits that don't suit you aren't for today.
You know, what I'm saying is that the Ten Commandments as applied today,
Yeah.
a lot of them are out of order.
Okay, which bits are out of order?
Stoning is out of order, for example.
Right, why? Who are you to say that God was wrong to say that you should stone
Because it's
somebody
not
to
part
death?
of our society, it's not part of our culture.
So our culture then, so our culture determines which parts of the Ten Commandments that we agree with and which parts we don't.
Yes, that would be natural.
Okay.
That would be
okay.
natural.
Right. Well, that's essentially then. Essentially then, and this is the absolute key. Essentially then, what you are doing, and this is what the atheist position is about morality. What you are doing is you're applying your own natural human morality to what is in those books.
Yes.
The very fact that you notice that it is wrong to say that you should stone somebody to death for gathering sticks on the Sabbath, or for stone a woman to death for not being a virgin on her wedding night, and yet you recognise that it's right to say that you should love your neighbour as yourself, and that the story of the Good Samaritan is a good story. The very fact that you notice that distinction between the good moral messages in the Bible and the bad moral messages in the Bible show that you are not getting your morality from the Bible, you're applying your own morality to the Bible.